Yeah, this is, yeah, I don't know if I like admitting this over this side of the Tasman, is that, yeah, Australian. Yeah, so I grew up in a tiny little country town in Australia, a place called Yass. Yeah, hey guys, Daniel Halangahu. Moving into my 6th season of the Blues, so I feel like I'm getting a bit old there for a coach. I don't normally hang around that long, but yeah, over that time I've been the skills and backs coach. So yeah, part of the attack coaching set up over there. And then here at Harbour, you know, this is where I started my coaching career. I've progressed up to head coach here at the moment. And just, yeah, a number of roles. At NPC Rugby, you covered a few different things, but yeah, really enjoying this role here where you probably get a bit more hands-on across a broad range of parts of the game. So a bit of attack, a bit of D, and the skill stuff as well. Just grew up with a really tight-knit little family. Just my mum and a couple of siblings. So yeah, my father's Tongan, so got that side as well. Yeah, spent some time down in Yass, down in Canberra, but ended up in Sydney for a long time as well. So played most of my rugby in Sydney, obviously with the Waratahs and my club there, Sydney Uni. Probably the club at deep down in my roots, that's the one that I remember. Yeah, so that's where I did most of my rugby. I ended up in Italy for a while and played with Zebra, and then ended up in France. It was whilst I was in France that my beautiful wife Nadia, she wanted to come back here to Auckland. She's an Aucklander, Westie, so I'm a adopted Westie here in Auckland now. Yeah, we decided to come back, and that's when I played a few games for Harbour as well, back around 2014. So yeah, it's, you know, that's the great thing about rugby is you get to see different parts of the world. You get to meet people from all walks of life, you know, and you learn a lot about yourself, but you also learn a lot about what's out there. And you know, I ended up going to a private school with some of the richest people in Sydney, and I also, you know, you work with some really disadvantaged people in rugby as well. Some people who use rugby as a vehicle to bridge some of the gaps in our society around, you know, that socio-economic stuff as well. Yeah, I think the biggest difference between NPC and Super is just the number of staff. You know, obviously the resource at Super level, every team has 5 coaches, just about 5 or 6 some teams, whereas at NPC level most teams are under 2, possibly 3, so you end up doing a few more things, which is great. As far as the difference between that head coach versus the assistants, I think the assistants really focus in that part of the game. They want to be experts in one part of the game, whereas head coach, it's around the greater, wider team, you know, wider team of players and management, and coaching that more of a team perspective. Yeah, there's a few things I always draw back to, and that is, I think you need to be yourself. That's the first one as a coach. Don't try and be someone else. And then, you know, through that, for me, it's around helping people. It's not always about just winning a trophy. You know, yeah, that's probably something that can be a byproduct of getting it right. But for me, you're investing in the people around you. I want the players that I coach to feel like I gave a damn about them as people, and also as rugby players. You know, tried to help them in their journey, and you know, they can learn from some of the mistakes I made, but also we can actually facilitate their growth. You know, growth as people, but growth as rugby players first and foremost. I've met Vern recently. Just you know, we had a bite to eat, and he's really refreshing. You know, he's got that. He's got a hard edge about him, which I think will be great for our group. I've never worked with him before, but he's worked with a few people I know, and look, everyone speaks really highly of Vern around his character, around his, you know, his values as a man first and foremost, but then also the way in which he likes to operate and run a group, which is with that hard edge, which is, you know, something that a lot of people think the Blues have been crying out for. And look, when we've shown that, we've been really successful. So look, I think he'll bring the best out of us in, you know, in driving us forward that next step. You know, Leon's done an amazing job with this team to come in the last 5 years, and then, you know, I know Vern wants to take that another step.